Hello dear student, we have already discussed about paper 2's chapter 1 and chapter 2, which were number systems and logic gates. Now the third chapter is logic families. Now what do you mean by logic families? We perform many logic functions like NOT, AND, OR, NOR, NAND and XOR. These are the logic gates. You might have seen that all the logic gates, they work on same logic levels like plus 5 volt and ground. It means the binary level which are to be implemented with this logic gates are 1 and 0. To implement 1, we have to apply plus 5 volt, and to implement logic 0, we have to apply ground voltage. Now these binary levels applied to all gates are same. Similarly, the power supply requirement for these logic gates are also same. That means they can work on plus 5 volt and negative potential, that is ground potential. So they are having the same functions with each other. So these logic families are nothing but it is a group of compatible ICs with the same logic levels and supply voltage and performing various logic function. These are fabricated on a specific circuit using the same principle. So these gates, they forms a family, and this family is performing the logic functions. So that is why these logic gates are combinedly called as logic families. Now these logic families are bipolar and unipolar. Bipolar and unipolar semiconductor devices can be used as switch, hence are used to make basic gates in integrated circuit. So these gates are constructed using some transistors or some UJTs or MOSFETs, and they are fabricated on a chip, and this chip is called as integrated circuit. In short, we will call it as ICs. These circuits are very small, they are very easy to connect, they consumes very less power, and they occupies very less space, and they are available with various digital functions. So this type of electronic circuits combinedly is called as logic family. Now let us see the classification of these logic families. First of all, this logic family is classified into two types. One is called as unipolar logic families and second is called as bipolar logic families. Let us see what is meant by unipolar logic family. Field effect transistor and metal oxide semiconductor field effect transistor, these devices are unipolar and they are used in unipolar MOS logic families. Now what do you mean by unipolar? You might have studied UJT in class 11th. There are two types of unijunction transistor. One is called as P type and another is called as N type. Alternatively, they are also called as N channel or P channel. In N channel MOSFET, the N type substrate it is used, and around it a P type gate is used. So all the conduction from source to drain is done with only negative charges, that means the electrons. So that is why that channel which exhibits a current due to electrons, that means due to N type charges, so that is why that substrate it's called as N channel, and obviously the gate is P type. So there will be a formation of depletion layer around the neck of the N type substrate. So that is why this type of MOSFET will be called as N type MOSFET. So here the current, all the current from source to drain is due to only electrons. So that is why it is called as N type UJT. In the similar way, P type UJT can be formed. That means the substrate which is used will be of P type and the gate will be of N type. So here from the source to drain, the current, whole current will be due to only positive charges. So that is why this channel will be P type or positive type. So in this way, p-type and n-type MOSFETs are or UJTs are constructed, in which the current is due to only one pole, that means either due to electrons or either due to the holes or p-type charges. So that is why two types of UJTs can be formed. Further, these UJTs are modified and they form metal oxide semiconductor field effect transistor, in which the oxide layer of metal oxide is constructed or inserted between the connections. So that is why that MOSFET, that device is called as MOSFETs. So these are called as unipolar gates. Now, if the logic families or logic gates are constructed using this type of devices, that whole combined will form a unipolar logic families. There are three types of metal oxide semiconductor logics. One is called as p-type, another is called as n-type, and third one is called as complementary MOSFETs. Now what do you mean by complementary MOSFETs? If we combine p-type and n-type MOSFETs, and if their connection is complementary, then it forms a CMOS logic family. Now what is meant by complementary? Complementary connection means once we have used a p-type and n-type, they are combined in a such a way that one type of MOSFET will be on at the same time other will be off, and vice versa. So they forms a complementary connection. So that is why this type of MOSFET is called as complementary MOSFET, or in short it is called as CMOS. Now this CMOS, they are used in unipolar logic families, so that form a complementary MOSFET logic families. So this was all about unipolar logic families. Now we will discuss on second type of logic families, that is bipolar logic families. This bipolar logic family mainly uses BJTs. BJTs means we have already studied in 11th about the transistor or types of transistor, in which we have studied bipolar junction transistor. Bipolar junction transistor, they have three terminals named as emitter, base and collector. We have seen that while constructing the BJTs or bipolar transistors, we have used a pure semiconductor in which two ends they are doped with the same type of impurity, and the middle region, it is doped with the another type of impurity. We have used trivalent and pentavalent impurity. So if a impurity doped on the either side of the substrate, if they are of trivalent type, then it will form a p-type at the ends, and in between if a pentavalent impurity is added, it forms a n-type region in the between. So in this way, this device will have three region, two p-types at the ends and one n-type at the middle. The p-types, one of the p-type is called as emitter and another is called as collector. So all the currents emitted by the emitter, it will try to flow towards the collector, and it will have to pass through the middle region, that is n-type. So middle one is the base. So in this way, there will be a current conduction from p-type emitter to p-type collector. And now you can see that the p-type material has positive charges which are free, and they will flow from emitter to base. So all the current conduction from the p-type to another p-type will be due to holes, that means due to positive charges. So here the whole current will be due to the positive charges. But at the same time, if positive charges are flowing from left to right, at the same time the electrons will flow from right to left. So in this way, the current conduction in this device is due to both charges, as due to the holes and due to the electrons also. So that is why this device is a bipolar device. That means it has two poles, positive as well as negative. So in this way, bipolar transistors are formed. Now the second type can be constructed as NPN type. That means the emitter will be of N type, collector will be of N type, and the middle base it will be of P type. So in this way these devices are called as bipolar. In the second way, if you see the diagram of this transistor, you can see that between the base and emitter there will be a formation of depletion layer. So that means there is a formation of junction. At the same time, second junction is formed between base and collector. So these devices has two junctions. So they also called as bipolar bijunction transistors. When these types of devices are used in a logic family, this logic family is called as bipolar bijunction logic family. These types of logic families contains resistors, diodes and transistors. They can be operated in two ways. Let us see. First type is the saturated logic families. Now what do you mean by saturated logic families? In the 11th, when we have studied about the characteristics of a transistor, input and output characteristics of transistor, we have seen a graph which was indicating the saturation region, active region and cutoff region. That means the transistor can be operated in three regions: saturation region, cutoff region and active region. When the transistor is in saturation, at that time the transistor is fully on. That means the input voltage or biasing voltage at the transistor's input is very high. So that is why the transistor will be fully on. So that region is called as saturation region. In the cutoff region, the bias voltage applied to the transistor's input is 0. That means the input side it is off. At the same time, output is reverse bias, and due to which the output is also off. So that region where input and output side of the transistor is off, that region is called as cutoff region. And the middle one region between these two, that means in between saturation region and cutoff region, that region is called as active region. Now if the transistor is operated in the saturation region only, that means the input side is forward bias and output side is forward bias. That means input side is on and output side is also on. If these transistors are operated in saturation region and if they are used as a logic gates, then the gates in this group will be called as saturated logic families. Along with the transistor, these logic families uses resistors, transistor and diodes also. According to the combination of the components used, these are classified into another four types. They are called as resistor transistor logic, then direct coupled transistor logic, and integrated injection logic, and diode transistor logic. In resistor transistor logic, only resistors and transistors are used to construct the gate. In direct coupled transistor logic, we might have heard about the coupling of transistor amplifier, in which there are many types of devices which are used to couple the transistor amplifier stages to one another. If the output of first stage amplifier it is directly coupled with the input of second transistor amplifier stage, then that coupling is called as direct coupling. So if the gates are formed like this transistor logic family is called as direct coupled transistor logic. The third type is the integrated injection logic. In integrated injection logic, suppose somewhere if the logic level has to be applied, some current is injected and that current is injected, so that is why it is called as injected logic. So integrated injection logic has the facility to inject the input levels using the current, so that is why it is called as integrated injection logic. The fourth type is the diode transistor logic. That means here only diodes and transistors are used to construct the logic family, so that is why it is called as diode transistor logic. The fifth type is the transistor logic. It means that the transistors are connected with each other That means the output of transistor, one transistor, it is connected with the input of another transistor. So only transistors are combined here to form a circuit. So that is why it is called a transistor logic. Now the second type in the bipolar logic family is the non-saturated logic families. Now we have already discussed about saturated logic families. Now let us discuss upon non-saturated logic families. In saturated logic, what I said, that the transistor is fully on, but here only if you consider the diodes require 0.7 volt to turn it on or to start conduction from throughout it. So only minimum current which is used to turn on the device, it is only used here. That means if 1 volt is used, the transistor will be on because the diode will be forward biased inside the transistor. So in non-saturated logic families, the devices are constructed so that, or devices are used so that only the devices are turned on, not fully on. So that means they are not saturated. Saturated means not fully turned on. So that is why that logic gates, if they are constructed using this type of combination or this type of construction, they are called as non-saturated logic families. The types are Schottky TTL. Schottky TTL means in which the diodes are constructed using the Schottky diodes. Schottky diodes we have already discussed in 11th. Schottky diode is a combination of metal and one kind of semiconductor. That means N-type semiconductor is used in one at the one end, and at the another end metal is used. So metal are good conductor of electricity. So that is why when the depletion layer is formed in Schottky diode, that depletion layer will be half as that of normal PN junction diode. So this type of transistor, they will turn on with the half voltage than that of the normal diode. That means normal diode requires 0.7 volt to turn it on, and this diode will require only 0.35 volt to turn it on. So this type of Schottky diodes can be constructed, and if these Schottky diodes are used to construct the transistor, those transistor are called as Schottky transistor. And if these type of transistor are used combinedly to construct the logic gate, this type of logic family is called as Schottky transistor logic. Now the another type in non-saturated logic family is the emitter coupled logic. That means the transistor which are used in this type of logic families, all the emitters of the transistor are combinedly coupled with each other. So that is why emitters are coupled here. So this logic family is called as emitter coupled logic family. So this was all about the classification of logic families. In this topic, we have to discuss only about the complementary MOSFETs and transistor logic. So in the scope of our syllabus, we have to discuss about only complementary or CMOS and TTL logic families. We will discuss it on the next lecture. Now, depending on the how much transistors or how much gates are constructed in a gate in a IC, another type of classification is formed, and it is dependent on the integration of the logic circuits inside IC. These are classified like this. One of them is called as a small scale integration. In this type of logic families, in a single IC, they will have less than 12 gates. Second type is the medium scale integration, in which the same chip of IC is used, same size is used, in which it can occupy from 12 to 99 gates inside a single chip. So that type of integration is called as middle scale or medium scale integration. Third is the large scale integration, in which in the same size of chip there would be 100 to 999 gates. They can be accommodated in the same size of chip. Fourth type is the very large scale integration, that is VLSI, in which less than 10,000 gates can be occupied. Fifth type is the ultra large scale integration, that is ULSI, in which we can use 10,000 or more gates inside a single chip. We are living in the era of ultra large scale integration, in which 10,000 or more gates in a single size of chip, same size of chip can be accommodated. Now, to get the idea about the integration, I will explain you. You might have using the computer, inside that we will use a CPU. Mostly Intel or AMD processors chips are used as a processor there. You can imagine the size of processor. It is 1 by 1 inches of size, a square shape, in which more than 3 lakhs of gates are accommodated. This was done using VLSI technology. Nowadays we are using ULSI technology, in which more than one processor is combined inside a single chip of 1 by 1 inches. So they might be called as a co-processor. This development is on, and we are integrating more dense logic gates inside the processor to construct the co-processor or whole processor. So in this way, ultra large scale integration is having more amount of transistors inside the same single chip. So on the basis of how much components are used in a single chip, this type of classification is done. So this was all about the classification of logic families on the basis of devices used and on the basis of how much integrated circuit, how much dense integrated circuit is used there. So this was all about logic families.